Welcome back to Valley. Alright, let's explore the Soma facility. Hopefully it's not all indoors, because I won't have as much room to run and build up speed indoors as I would. No trees or orbs nearby. Take energy from storage cells to restock your reserves. So I can train these. I wonder, can I put energy back into them? No? Okay. Not that I want to, but just, curious. From a guard, I'd give anything to be a Pathfinder, but there's no way I'd ever be eligible unless I suddenly lost 60 pounds. That'll never happen. Too bad, I bet I could pick up a lot of girls in those things. Probably right about that. Andrew Fisher, audio logs. Can I listen to them?
September 17th, 1942. My name is Andrew Fisher, leading physicist and head of Project Pendulum. Pendulum is the research and development project directed by the Army Corps of Engineers to produce a weapon of mass destruction that can bring an end to the war through the unconditional surrender of our enemies. In response to the spy-ridden efforts of the Manhattan Project, headed by my cohort, Robert Oppenheimer, Pendulum has been founded under the utmost secrecy. Funds, pride, and soldiers' lives are all on the line in a race to win the war, thus giving rise to the name Pendulum.
Of course it always comes down to superweapon. Note from a researcher. Within the Soma facility, we are surrounded by the Emerita fuel slugs extracted from the valley. As such, we tend to be isolated from the effects of the Pathfinder's quantum death side effects. I was amazed to one day step out of the facility to see scores of trees dead around me. Use a flashlight here. I mean, it's not that dark, but I wonder if I can make it to the top of those. That seems like the place to put a secret. Oh, I can. Ah, damn it. That's okay, I can get back up there. That. Hey, lighting. Nice. It's not a flashlight, but it'll do. Oh, man, Rita. Oh, shit. Super angry Amrita swarm. take it. I'm probably going to need to turn the reactor back on. Ooh, a crate. Or fix it or whatever. Or turn it off, who knows. Need to do something with the reactor, I'm pretty sure of that. You always do. I bet there's a crate up on top of one of these. Get back up there eventually. First, take a look around here. So this is the beginning. Really? I can't get up there. There we go. Nice. Nothing this way. Or maybe not. I've been on that walkway. I guess that's where I need to go. Okay.
As a precaution to both Nazi and Soviet espionage, Pendulum's location and purpose is unknown to the outside world. Taking a cue from the Manhattan Project, only a small few know of Pendulum's purpose, operating under the guise of an alternative energy project. As it came to light that Manhattan had been plagued with espionage, it was agreed upon to shroud Pendulum within the government itself. All those who knew of Pendulum's true intent are here. Though admittedly extreme, we can ensure an ironclad umbrella of secrecy. Information can only come in, and none can go out. As far as anyone outside this valley knows, Pendulum does not exist. This valley does not exist.
How do I get to that crate down there? That's what I'm wondering. There's gotta be an entrance somewhere. That's obviously the way I need to go, but I want that crate. Doesn't seem to be a gap in the fence anywhere. Go in there through a vent, okay. Let's see. Somewhere through here. that bend. Loose lips sink ships. Anything up here? Oh yeah! Here. Doesn't look like there's anything over there. Like a no turning back. So hopefully I can still get to that crate I've been trying to get to this way, but if not, oh well. I can always play the level again, I suppose. There's a broken crane block. Going back for me, that's too high a jump, even for a double jump, I think. Really? That didn't hit. Too far? There we go.
Welcome to the Pendulum Research and Development site. All personnel must report to the front desk with appropriate security clearance.
Whoa. Note from a worker. We better finish up this project soon. Those supply trucks are only scheduled to arrive for a few more months. Otherwise, due to the isolation policy, we're on our own. The pilots know nothing of this operation other than their orders to drop off supplies to this location until the end of this year. I think they were told this for a mining operation. This is for a mining operation. No wonder Fisher's going mad over our timelines. Take that. I finally got to see one of those orbs out in the wild while I was on leave for the other day. There's something surreal about them. I stared into it for God knows how long. Note from Andrew Fisher. Due to the power strain as the reactor ramps up production to meet our increased quota, we've experienced frequent power outages. As such, I've ordered Amrita generators as a backup power source to be temporarily installed throughout the facility. Blackouts should cease to occur. illegible sketching. Because somebody talked. And good old motivation posters. Note from an administrator. Trying to keep this operation a secret has been an absolute nightmare. Between coordinating surreptitious supply drops, securing illegitimate funds, channeling resources and manpower, to creating thousands of ghost accounts and fake offices to bury the operation from any level of government. Barring someone accidentally stumbling across this location in one of the most remote areas on the planet, there is no chance anyone will find us out here. Well, I found you. Yeah, it doesn't look like I'll be able to get back to that crate. I probably missed it, but I'll probably go back and replay this level at some point, see if I can get what's in that crate. What's this way? Oh, great. Note from Private Riley. I've been ordered to patrol the Soma facility again today. I've circled through the same rooms 30 times since noon. At least I get to smile at the cute scientist in the pressure chambers each time. She hasn't smiled back at me yet. I hope she doesn't find me creepy. Ah, we got us a romance! Note from Pathfinder. It's odd to think about what exactly a life is once you've experienced quantum death. What exactly are the ingredients that make up my life? My ingredients aren't really any different than anyone else's. Carbon, calcium, hydrogen, etc. Held together with some energy. So what exactly makes me, me? I guess if anything, it's just a pattern. One that forms out of a chaotic blender of matter in the universe, like a whirlpool out of the water. And when I die, that pattern simply dissipates back into the cosmos. Are we all the same universe simply expressing itself? Jump down, well, I can get back up there if need be. Note from a researcher. The energy orbs growing out here are the key to the valley. Pendulum completely depends on the vast magnitude of energy these orbs contain within them. Regardless of where they come from, they are the key to ending the war. Through Pendulum, we can harness the so-called Amrita energy of the orbs and release it however we see fit. Oppenheimer's atomic bomb will pale in comparison to what we can produce here. I hope not. Whatever it is you're trying to produce never got produced. I'm a little bit worried about the implications. Note from a researcher. No good Simmons is sucking up to Fisher again. He's always first to volunteer for assignments, which is no surprise as Fisher can hardly enter a room without him following. He's not even all that smart, just great at agreeing with everything Fisher has to say. Is that how you get ahead these days? Yeah, pretty much, yeah, unfortunately. Note from a worker. I'm getting real sick of your attitude, Ralph. I saw you sneak into my office to steal pencils again. I'm running low and really need them for my work. The next supply drop isn't until the spring. Stop stealing my pencils. He said, thank you. What? Did I? Oh. Is that the swarm passing through me? Ralph, I saw you take a sip of my coffee this morning, and it wasn't the first time either. You know how scarce coffee is getting around here. Please stop sipping my coffee. This Ralph seems to be a scavenger. Infrastructure report. The reactor and thermal diffuser are very unstable and must be located both far apart and underground to ensure any accidental explosions are contained. Large vents are needed to circulate cool air deep into the mountain. Conveniently, one of the mountains already had ancient tunnels leading deep into the heart of the mountain. The site was chosen for the thermal diffuser and weapons site. The two sites are connected via underground rail to transport materials. Cool. Ancient tunnels. Now that's what I'm talking about. Note from a researcher. A large-scale extinction event occurred in North America near the end of the Pleistocene period. Interestingly, the epicenter of the extinction seemed to stem from this valley's location. Could the Area 634 have anything to do with it? Ooh, a crate. One more and I get an upgrade. Very nice. Memo. Please report any suspicious activity to an officer immediately. Any hesitation could place the entire operation in jeopardy. Note from a psychologist. Several guards on night watch have reported large creature sightings. Some of them are a little shaken up by it. Might be just that being stuck out here in the middle of nowhere for so long is finally getting to them. Either way, we'll need full annual psychological assessment for all personnel in the near future. Charlotte Smith, Psychological Operations.
At a loss for words. This is the discovery of a lifetime. No, of the 20th century. Have I found Schrodinger's cat? This is beyond my wildest imagination. As a result of the reaction between the Amrita energy and the Pathfinder's own life force, they experience what I have dubbed quantum death. When a Pathfinder dies while wearing the suit, their consciousness branches into a new reality, unharmed. They achieve quantum immortality.
Oh boy, I think Mr. Fisher is gonna lose it. Memo, please refrain from wasting office supplies unnecessarily. The stock is running low. Please exhaust all office supplies to their full extent. Note from a boilermaker. They told us we're building some sort of alternative energy facility here, but little else. Tradesmen are only allowed in certain areas at certain times for certain jobs, to keeping us completely in the dark, having us all focused on single tasks at a time rather than giving us any hints into the big picture. What are they hiding from us? Ooh, a crate. Yeah, baby, upgrade. Note from a contractor. Now that the isolation policy is in effect, I found out this is a weapon project of some sort. I still don't know much, but I hope to find out more. I just wish I could talk to my family back home, let them know I'm doing okay. And they all died. Horrible, horrible deaths. Probably. Well, I have a ton of energy. So that's good. Probably need it at some point. That's where it came from. Stock. It's a nice one. There we go. Too far away. Screw it. I got plenty of energy. and get energy from those swarms. Oh. I wonder if I do that enough times, will they turn back into aggressive? I hear a swarm, where is it? Oh, it's on the other side of this door, I'm sure. There it is. Aha! Note from Charlotte Smith. I ran through the annual psychological assessment for all personnel stationed in the Area 634. Many are reaching a breaking point in their isolation from friends and family back home, and the work hours demanded from them is taking its toll on morale. Despite this, most are quite mentally stable. The project lead, Andrew Fisher, does concern. Yeah, me too. My man is going mad with power. This looks like it was purposely blocked off. Like I said, something went horribly, horribly wrong. As things tend to. And that's where I came from. That's where the swarm got released from. I haven't been up there yet. Anything up here except this recharges, which I don't need. Note from researcher Miller. Today, one of the guards patrolling the Soma facility walked by. I asked him if he was keeping an eye on things. I don't think he got it. Well, it's a really terrible joke, so you know what? It's probably better left that way. Like, that's a really, really bad joke. And I'm a connoisseur of bad jokes. Any of these stalls have anything? Doesn't look like it. How about these? Seemed like a perfect place for it to hide a crate, but hold on. Now from a researcher, the leaf suit may prove to be the pinnacle feat of pendulum, the ability to manipulate life and death in the God hand, the agility and the ability to circumvent death. All thanks to the Amrita energy converted from this valley's orbs. You can create the ultimate soldier. The Mark II success will herald a new wave of iterations. They were working on an improved leaf suit, I'm sure. Probably one with freaking guns and shit on it. And then things went horribly, horribly wrong. And everyone died. A terrible death.
bombs of unparalleled yield, we rely upon the life seed housed within a reactor found deep underground beneath the Soma facility. By harvesting the high-energy yield orbs found within the valley, we pass their energy through the life seed, which acts as a sort of amplifier, magnifying the energy to unprecedented levels. The explosives we create here will dwarf anything the Manhattan Project could ever possibly fathom.
Note from researcher Miller. The other scientists were talking about atoms. I told them not to trust them since they make up everything. They asked me to leave. Oh, Miller, you and your corny jokes. That one was better, though. I'll give you credit for that one. It was a terrible joke, but it's a better terrible joke. I got a chuckle out of that one. We got music. Oh, big ol' Ambrita. There's another one. So far, those are easy enough to destroy, or pacify. You just strafe and shoot. Even my shitty skills can manage that. Why, yes, I will take that. Anything between these two? No? I thought the bombs being created were impressive enough, but it's not that new weapon that will undoubtedly steal all the attention. It's being called Thanatos. Oh man. Oh boy. Am I gonna have to fight Thanatos at the end of this? I'm gonna have to fight Thanatos at the end of this, aren't I? Quantum depth and immortality using Lee technology is a fascinating field of study. Using this tech, a person could live out a full life without fear of an accident cutting it short, albeit the use of immortality is a misnomer, as the user simply shifts to a new timeline wherein they are still alive. This can only hold true until all practical timelines are exhausted. For example, an elderly man dying of natural causes is unlikely to shift to a timeline where they do not die, as that parallel world is very unlikely to exist. Note from Andrew Fisher. Well, I met Einstein at Princeton. I couldn't help but see a hint of Oppenheimer reflected in him. I was astonished by his clairvoyance into the makeup of the universe, viewing the experience of all things natural and spiritual in perfect unison. with the self acting as little more than an optical illusion in the perpetual flow of the universe. When Oppenheimer and I studied Indology under Arthur Ryder, I could see that same compassion and empathy for all living creatures brewing within him. I imagine Mr. Fisher does not share this empathy. Tracing the Life-Sea's location was a simple matter. After years of tracking the epicenter of the place to see the extinction event, I was led to this valley's location. I couldn't believe my eyes. Upon immediate examination of one of the orbs, I discovered their vast energy potential. With the help of the Pathfinders, I was able to locate the Life-Sea within the valley. Oppenheimer won't believe his ears upon hearing the marvels I've accomplished. Effectively, those wearing leaf suits gained the ability to deny the actuality of wave function collapse. In other words, the ability to branch through various objective realities is part of the many-world theory of quantum mechanics. With this ability, Pathfinders have visions of themselves dying. Each time this occurs, something nearby dies, such as an animal or nearby vegetation. It was soon discovered that if the Pathfinders had a vision of their own death, it is in fact them actually dying. Instead of remaining dead, they branch into a new wave of reality, whereupon they continue to live, albeit at the cost of an equivalent amount of life within that branch. To put it plainly, if a Pathfinder wearing the leaf suit dies through some accident, their death is traded with the life of a nearby living thing. They achieve quantum immortality. Why in hell is Fisher making us ramp up production? We're already working ourselves half to death down here, and now he wants sleep-deprived people working around the clock? We're working on explosives, for crying out loud. This Fisher guy's out of his mind, a total megalomaniac. Just look at that Pathfinder statue in the main lobby. I can't believe we all have to take orders from him unquestioned during this wartime. Surely I can't be the only one who feels this way. That's death, but I can swing across here. Probably one can go up there, and I can go there. Let's go up higher first. Okay, this is probably the way I want to go, but first... Nothing? Oh, not even a crate? That's disappointing. Oh, wait a minute. No. That's a bummer. Ooh, I can go this way then. Whoa. Aha! I knew it! Yes.
The valley, it's suffering. The natural life here seems to be slowly dwindling. Edwin thinks I'm crazy, but I see it becoming quieter. Are we gradually killing this place?
Yes.
That self-righteous anthropologist is stirring up trouble again. Her moral objections to this project are the last thing I need on my mind. If it weren't for the isolation policy, I'd have her removed from the premises and sent back home.
Acorn door? 26 acorns? No problem. Ooh, upgrade! just an energy upgrade, but I'll take it. Whoa, there's a bunch of them. Wow, they are pissed. Got one. Yeah. Now what? Oh, this is the beginning. Maybe I can get to that, whatchamacallit? Crate I couldn't get to before. See, there seem to be two paths here. Oops. How do I get through this? Open through this one. This path is the one that must lead to the that crate. How do I get in there? Maybe I can jump into it from underneath it. Does seem to be. I thought there was an opening there. I kind of got myself stuck in it. Doesn't look like it. How do I get in there? From the side? I don't see an opening on this side. See an opening on this side. Be right about here. Oh well. And that's the end of the level. Cool. We'll leave off here.